Let's go ER here. That's pretty good. That looks good. Let's see. This is a good piece. Okay, that looks good. Have you ever tried the double hydro taser comp? I'd like to know your thoughts on that. Is that with a Yelan and Xingqiu? Or what are the two hydro units in that case? And speaking of taser, I think I'm gonna set up my Beidou. Oh, that's some high crit. What is she using here? Sucrose Yalan Xingqiu Official. Oh, interesting. That one has no healer though, right? Do you put prototype Amber on Sucrose? And then just kind of heal off of Xingqiu's damage reduction and rain swords, I guess? Whoa, hold on. One sec. All right, let's see. And I think I am gonna try taking a taser team into the second half here, because I've heard good things about it. I don't think I want to go in without a healer, because that sounds kind of dangerous. I think I might go like, oh, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do Kokomi, Official Beidou, or maybe I'll go Domisili Mana Nina Nibang. Oh, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to get my wife over to translate for me. Domisili Mana Nibang. I wonder if Beidou and Xingqiu together is enough defense sustain for the second half. Yeah, that's a good question, actually. Maybe... I wonder if it is. Because, yeah, they both provide damage reduction. Beidou offers a shield, a small shield at least. I still feel like it wouldn't be enough unless your dodging is like really, really good. And the other thing is that takes away Xingqiu from the first half. And the first half also has a lot of damage, right? Oh yeah, sorry to disappoint. I'm not Indonesian. My wife is Indonesian. Istriku orang Indo. That's like the one thing I know how to say. But yeah. Aku orang USA. Oh, that's a good point though, actually. Because yeah, Xingqiu self-applying hydro against the cryo Kanki, that does become a problem actually. So then you're kind of limited on when you can use his skill. You can kind of work around it because his skill has a high cooldown anyway, and the cryo field only comes around like every 15 or 20 seconds, so you can kind of work around it, but yeah, definitely pretty tough. Alright, let's see. Then what would we take on the first half? We can just do like regular Hyperbloom on the first half then, right? I think that would work. Should we try it? Should we try this? Do you think Beidou can snapshot Desha Claymore HP buff? I don't know much about Desha's kit yet. She might be able to. The shield, let's see. Beidou's shield is the one that scales off of HP. My guess is yes. I don't think the shield value is going to change dynamically after you cast it, but I'm not sure. That's gonna require some testing. All right, here we go. We've got kind of a suicidal second half, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the stream quality isn't too bad again, but we'll find out. Oh, wait a minute. I did not mean to bring Kokomi here. Huh. Because with Kokomi, I don't know if I have enough Hydra application to keep up with the blooms. Make sure we refresh Kuki's Electro application. The Kuki's skill is super important here because that's where we're getting all of our Hyperbloom damage from. So if her skill goes down, we basically get no damage. So always be keeping an eye out for that, making sure you're refreshing it every time it goes out. The audio is good? Okay, that's good at least. That's half of the stream. Oh yeah, this clear is slow though. I'm already at 8:30 and I'm just now getting to the rune grader. That's not good. Is there any reason why I'm not using Xingqiu or Yelan over Zhongli? No, it's a mistake on my part. I think I will have to because yeah, you see here my damage is just not here because my Hydra application is not good enough. So I'm not getting enough dendro cores. So I definitely do need. Oh, it's Thetis actually. Wow, it's somebody I know. Thetis is one of the resident experts over at the Genshin Impact Tips Discord channel or Discord server. Welcome to my stream. Good to see ya. But yeah, I definitely do need more Hydra application there, as you saw. The dendro core generation and the damage is just not enough. And with Kokomi on the team, we don't need Zhongli. So let's go. So let's see. We had Xingqiu on the second half, so let's keep him there. And then let's see here. Could the consecrated beast Could I see it could be the duo. Hutao C0, is it good without Zhongli, and what teams are viable? If you don't have Zhongli, then the next best team I would recommend for Hutao is Toma Sucrose. So then you go Toma Sucrose Xingqiu Hutao, and Toma Sucrose allows you to swirl Pyro, which boosts Hutao's damage by a lot. So then in exchange for having Zhongli's shield and res shred, you end up having Toma's shield instead, and also similar res shred thanks to an Animo unit. So then it makes up for it. You do need a lot of ER on Toma to pull it off because you're relying on that burst being up all the time, but it's pretty comparable in terms of damage output, I would say. Yeah, you're totally right, Thetis. The Zhongli shield is definitely not necessary in that comp, so I think we can just go Yelan, Kokomi. I think I'm going to go Kokomi, Kuki, and then Yelan. Let's do that. So I'm going to refresh Kokomi's burst after I rotate through everybody once. And let's see here. Yeah, let's try that. I still think I'm going to die on the second half, but we'll see. Oh, whoa, that was some really bad lag. Yeah, that damage is much better. Oh yeah, it's so much faster. Yelan is broken, confirmed. Yes, it's the post-dinner stream. I finally came back after like a 3-hour dinner. I'm sorry. I ended up going out, and then after dinner we also got boba on the way home, so then, yeah, it ended up turning out to be much longer than we intended. Dinner was very good. We had some like kind of like Chinese style chicken soup, kind of, or chicken stew, I guess, and yeah, it was very delicious. Really good tender chicken. I need 6 retries on Chamber 2 because of the 2 beasts comboing me and getting one shot by the Kanki trio. Yeah, that's a mood. Definitely feel you there. Now, how invested skill do I have to be if I don't want to reset on Abyss? That's a good question. Yeah, even when I run with my like fully built characters, sometimes I can't even do a full like a straight run without resetting. I would say it is pretty tough. I think a lot of streamers and content creators make it look like pretty easy, but I definitely don't think it's a trivial thing to be able to clear or sweep the Abyss in a single run, like using the same teams and without a lot of resets. Usually you're looking at like at least a few level 90 characters, probably level 9 talents on a lot of your like carries, very solid artifacts, usually with like 4 to 5 good substat rolls on each piece. So yeah, lots of investment. I think in terms of like getting your characters leveled up, talents leveled up, and weapon all maxed out, like those parts are a little bit easier just because those are deterministic and don't depend on RNG. But getting like the good artifacts are where it's going to take the most time for sure. Let's see. C1 helps a ton. Trying for at least you had a good dinner and boba tea. Yeah, thank you. Getting to go for more Constellation Yolanda. I just want to say how much I've learned from watching your vids. Thank you for that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching my videos, and you're very welcome. All right, let's see if we can beat this without dying. Oh, my angle's bad. Whew, the damage is good though, wow. Yeah, the taser team damage is very good. Alright, the damage is great. So I think, yeah, if I can survive, then this is going to be a great team, I think. Ooh, that was a big counter. Oh, I'm barely making time though, it's gonna be close. Whew, okay, we did it. Yeah, we didn't take too much damage, so yeah, the damage reduction from Xingqiu's Rain Swords is huge, and then the shield that Beidou provides every now and then, I think they do add up quite a bit. And if I added Prototype Amber on Sucrose, I think that would give me even more survivability, and that would really cement the team, I think. Let's see here. I think you need a lot of built characters to mix and match. Let's see. Is level 90 weapon better than the artifacts? Get the base stats that artifacts modify. That's a good question. I would say... Let me think. I would say level... Usually I go like level 80 weapon, and then plus 16 artifacts. And then level 90 weapon, and then plus 20 artifacts. So then... well, actually, wait, no, did I do that backwards? No, yeah, yeah, that's right. So then, like, going from 80 to 90, I think is not as good as taking your artifacts from 0 to 16. But if your artifacts are already 16 or above, then, yeah, level 90 weapon is the priority for sure. Very disappointed with Desha, was super excited for her. Is she turning out to be a lot weaker than people hoped she would be? Because she's getting put on the standard banner? Is that what's happening? Is there a way to force close Fischl's Tokyo Drift Ultimate? Yes, there is. If you swap while she's doing the dash in her bird form, then it'll basically just cancel it early. And that's usually what you want to do. So you cast her burst, and you swap off to the next character immediately. And that's how you cancel it early. Alright. Let's see if we can survive this. I'm a little scared too. Oh my god. I almost died to the samurai. Jeez. How embarrassing would that be? Haven't even gotten to the beasts. Oh god. Oh my god, Kokomi almost dying. Crazy. The amount of damage that these guys put out is seriously insane. Oh. Oh, sorry guys, one sec. Sorry about that, I'm back. Let's see here. That's probably the reason why our kit is kind of mid. Tinari, you can do that with Oz, weapon banner. It's not the beast yet. Yeah, getting the string quality. The string quality is wildin'. The bitrate is kind of low. I can't see anything. I'm sorry. I've been trying to fix this by turning down the quality of my Like game setting? Oh no! Oh shoot, okay. I was too careless. Yeah, especially with Hyperbloom teams, my stream quality just like completely goes to hell. Because there's so much like animations and numbers happening on the screen. Ooh, just barely dodged that with the iframe there. Alright, we got through the first half. Hyperbloom does so much damage it disturbs our reality's visual, yeah. I don't remember the exact number, but it's at least 34% damage increase from level 80 to 90. Yep, that's about right. I'm assuming you're talking about Hyperbloom damage, right? Yeah, it's a huge jump from 80 to 90. So if you are planning to run a Hyperbloom team, make sure your Electro trigger, whether that be a Raiden or a Cookie, is as close to level 90 as possible, because that jump is enormous. It's Nahida strings that mess on the graphics. Oh, maybe you're right, actually. Maybe that's what's slowing it down, because that is a lot of like calculation to do on the game's end, so that could be straining for the graphics card too. All right, let's see if we can beat the Kanki trio in this team without dying. Oh god, I'm already frozen. We're gonna iframe the explosion there. That's good. Oh, we got frozen again. We're gonna try to counter this. Alright, we got it. We got pretty good counters here, that's good. We are slowly dying, but kind of keeping up. See if it works out in the end. I'm not getting any damage on the Anemo Kanki or on the Anemo Kanki because he's not grouping very well. So that might be a problem, but let's see if we can still make time here. We're gonna try to counter this again. Alright, we got it. Okay, now it's just the Anemo Kanki left. I have about 1 rotation's worth of time left. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Yeah, my bursts aren't going to be up quickly enough. Okay, that's fine. I think I'm going to let this go and just save up my burst for the next chamber. And then come back for chamber 2 later. Oh wait, I really wanted the heal on Xingqiu. Okay, we're gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna wait for Rain Swords to heal. Oh, I got hit too. That's not good. Oh my god, I keep getting hit. I'm trying to heal Xingqiu up with Rain Swords, but then I'm just getting hit in the process, so then I'm not actually gaining any health. Alright. Love your voice. Oh, thank you very much. I'll try to keep my voice. Is there a preferred Kanki to go to after, or is it just killing the middle one? One of the other two is fine. I usually advise people to go for the middle one, yeah, because he's the one that moves the least. So then the other two sometimes kind of move towards you a little bit at least, whereas the middle one is almost always stationary. So I usually advise to focus that one, and then usually that will hit the blue one and the middle one at the same time at least, because the blue Kanki will chase you around. And then if you're lucky, the green Kanki will also like be kind of close by and get some AoE damage. If you're not lucky, like in this case, the green Kanki might be kind of far away from the other two, so then you might have to beat the middle one first and then chase down the green one later. But yeah, you always want to be you never want to focus the blue Kanki first of all, because he's the melee one and he follows you around regardless. So you always want to focus either the neutral one or the green one, because those are the two those are the ranged Kankis. Would a cryo shielder help freeze Kanki? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I mentioned this in the 12-2 guide video that I made, but Diona or Layla are both really good choices on the second half of 12-2 because they mitigate so much of that cryo damage. So if you're having trouble with that second half or survivability with that second half, and you do have a team that can incorporate a cryo shielder, definitely recommend that. It's going to help the survivability a lot. Let's see. Which weapon are you using on Beidou? I'm using, what is it called? Blackcliff. Blackcliff Slasher. It's the Star Glitter one. The one that you buy with Star Glitter. I don't know if I recommend getting it because Star Glitter is so valuable for wishes and getting other like super good characters. I picked up one copy of Blackcliff Slasher because I really like the way that it looked on Beidou. And it's the weapon that shows on Beidou's splash art. So then I really wanted to kind of complete that set. And I really like the way it looks, so I picked one up, but I don't know if I recommend it. It's an okay stat stick because it gives crit damage as the substat, but other than that, it doesn't offer too much. Let's see here. Does the Animo Kanki have swirl damage resistance? I don't know, actually. I don't think it does. It might have higher Animo resistance, but then swirl damage is elemental damage, because swirl just deals the damage of whatever element that it like swirled with. So I don't think he's more resistant to that. Let's see here. All right. Let's take care of the Dorito here. So I'm gonna use my skill to mark it with the debuff first, and then that'll help me find it here. And then Cookie's skill, that'll deactivate it. And now we can start. We're gonna mark it again. We're gonna look for the debuff arrows. They're over there this time. Deactivate it again. All right. And then we set up. Refresh Cookie's skill. Make sure that doesn't go out ever. Okay, and we got him in 2 clean rotations. That's good. That's the power of the Hyperbloom team. Let's see. Any tips for floor 11? Currently stuck on it. Let me try running floor 11 after this, and then hopefully I can offer some tips here. If you can, which chamber are you currently stuck on? If you can give more details about what you're struggling with, I can try to help a little bit more there. Or if you can share like what team comps you're using, then I can try running floor 12 with those team comps, just so that you know what it would look like. Let's see. If I have 2 Akamaru, is it worth refining it or keeping both? I rarely wish on weapon banner, so I don't know when I'll get another. I actually don't even know what Akamaru is. Let me check. Oh, this one. Okay, this is part of the Wadatsumi set. Let's see here. For every point parties combine at maximum energy capacity. Elemental burst of the character is increased by 12%. I think this one is worth refining. It seems pretty good. I don't know how many characters are going to use this, because I'm trying to think what characters depend on burst damage. What Claymore characters depend on burst damage? I guess Eula and Beidou are the two big ones that I can think of off the top of my head. So, assuming you're using this on Beidou, I guess if you have both Eula and Beidou, it might be worth keeping the 2 copies. But I feel like otherwise, it's safe to refine it, because yeah, you're getting that extra 10% damage percent on your burst damage, which is really big for Beidou. So I would go ahead and refine it. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Forget about the Spiral Abyss guide, how to kill today's beetle fight on hard difficulty. I'll do that later, I guess. I'll go over a demo of the beetle fight too. Let's see. So our 10-3 Mirror Maiden. Raiden, National Ganyu, Yalansu, Cross Chi-Chi. I really like Komodo and Eula. Do you recommend Nahida on full EM if supporting Tinari? Yeah, typically if you're using Nahida as an off-field dendro applier and dendro damage dealer, I recommend a full EM build. It's kind of the most forgiving build, and pretty much like if you just have the main stats right, she just deals so much damage. So just the return on investment on a full EM Nahida is so high. It's a really cost-effective build, just because her A4 passive gives her crit rate and damage percent scaling off of EM, and then her skill damage also scales off of EM. So then you're kind of like triple dipping on the EM stat. So really good, really cost-effective build. Let's see. Will Ayaka and Chi-Chi work with Shenhe and Kokomi? Yeah, that could work, I guess. I feel like Chi-Chi is kind of... I would say Chi-Chi is kind of redundant there, because you already have Kokomi as your healer. So then I would just put an Animo character there for the VV Res Shred. So then you have 2 Cryo, Ayaka, Shenhe, Kokomi, your Hydro and healer, and then Animo gives you the Res Shred. So then that boosts your cryo damage even more. I don't think Chi-Chi is really necessary there. No Eula rerun pains me. Me too, man. Me too. Give me a second to open up Genshin check. Let's see here. EM Diluc does more damage than crit build 1. C0 Nahida will crit. Yeah, I mean, she can... Like, her crit rate isn't going to be super high. But if you can get some crit substats and... like have a lot of EM on her, which gives her extra crit rate, you can usually get her up to at least like 50 or like 55% crit rate, and that's a reasonable amount. I think that's more than enough for most content. All right, I'm pretty scared with this half. We'll see how this goes. We will see. No promises here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got 1 counter. That's pretty good. Wow, the AoE damage is actually really good, though. Oh no, the bubble! The bubble annihilated me. Yeah, I was a little worried about this. Coming into this chamber with only 4,000 health on Xingqiu, I think this is going to be bad news bears. I don't know if I'm going to be able to clear this. No healer, and I don't know. We'll see. Wow, I feel like it took a really long time to go invisible there. Okay, similar clear time there, 2 rotations. Hello, is Fischl good, or is Fischl a good Hyperbloom driver? I have neither Kuki nor Raiden, so I'm not sure what else to do there. Good luck on the floor. Fischl herself, or Fischl by herself, is typically not a good Hyperbloom driver because she doesn't really deal any AoE electro damage, and that's what's triggering the Hyperblooms. But if you combine her with Sucrose or another character who can trigger swirls frequently, then she becomes pretty decent. Because what happens is that Fischl applies electro onto the enemies, and then the swirl off of that electro on the enemy deals AoE electro damage and then detonates the dendro cores. So then Fischl by herself can't do it on her own, but if you have an Animo character supporting her, then you have enough AoE Animo electro damage to trigger those dendro cores. It's nice to see someone using classic Taser in the era of Hyperbloom. I still have a soft spot for all the old teams. I'm only doing it because somebody dared me to. I actually don't run classic Taser too often these days, just because Xingqiu is used in so many of my other teams. But yeah, it's still a really, really strong team. Is Fischl nice for Aggravate? Yeah, definitely. Fischl's very, very good for Aggravate, just because her electro application rate is very high, and she deals a lot of electro damage, so then she benefits from the Quicken aura as well. Alright, let's get round 2, here we go. I'm going to start from this side this time, actually. I'm going to try to push them towards the front. Ooh. And the random fall damage from Sucrose's bursts, like the knockups, actually deal like so much damage. Okay, pretty good counters. Okay, we have about a minute to beat these 3. Okay. Let's see if we can do this without dying. Oh god. I think I just have 1 pet left, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, the Animo archer is so far away though. The grouping is not ideal here. Let me see if I can get her over here with Sucrose's burst maybe. Oh, it's gonna be so close. Oh my god. Oh god, it's so close. Oh no. It's also really hard to sometimes like gauge whether you're gonna pass the chamber or not, because if you miss chamber 3 by like 1 second, it feels like so bad, and then you have to replay through all the other chambers again. So you have to really be quick to hit the escape button if you miss the timer and the enemies are about to die. Let's see here. Which is the Diluc team you would recommend? Typically some kind of national vaporized Diluc. So it'd be like a national team, but you're using Diluc in place of Xiangling. So then you'd do Bennett, Sucrose, or Bennett or an Animo character, and then supported by some Hydro Applier like Yelan or Xingqiu, and then Diluc on field. So then you have the VV Shred from the Animo character, you have the attack buff and healing from Bennett, and then you have the Hydro support for the vaporized triggers, which amplifies all of Diluc's attacks. So that's usually the best. That's usually going to be the best team comp for him. That having been said, it's usually not stronger than a regular national team. So then it's just, I don't know, it's kind of that's like the best you can get, but it's still not super strong. Aren't the Pokemon trainers fully CC immune until their summons are destroyed? Yes, that's correct. So you always want to focus the beasts first, or the summons first, and then only after the summons down, you start to group the summoners and then take them all out at once. Let's see. Is Nahida significantly better than DMC in solo Dendro off-field? I don't like her on-field playstyle, which is why I pull for Al-Haytham. I would say Nahida is definitely better than DMC for solo Dendro. not only because she has faster dendro application, but also because she deals a lot more damage. So then she has, or not only faster dendro application, but more dendro application in that the amount of gauge units that she applies with her skill is 1.5 gauge units instead of 1. So then you have more dendro gauge units to work with, and she applies dendro at a faster rate because of the lower ICD on her skill trigger. And it lasts a lot longer, has a longer range, so then there's just a lot of... Nahida is pretty much unbeatable when it comes to dendro application and damage, and dendro damage. She's really, really strong. It's really hard to overstate how strong she is. Why not use Rosaria Reverse Melt? It's better than Taser. Yeah, I would normally use Rosaria Melt on the second half. That's what I used for the guide video. But then somebody asked me if it's possible to beat it with Taser, so I'm giving it a shot here. Alright. Round 3, here we go. It's over here. Oh, I can't see anything. Alright, third attempt. Is there any difference in damage numbers between Vape and Melt? I'm thinking about changing my Diluc, if so. Melt is stronger in terms of the reaction multiplier, but you're going to find that you're not going to have... You can't really have a cryo... Or there isn't really a cryo applier in this game currently that applies cryo quickly enough to melt every hit of Diluc's attack. So then you're going to be melting like once every maybe 2 or 3 attacks, which individually deal more damage. But with Vaporize, with somebody like Xingqiu or Yelan, you're going to be able to apply a Hydro Aura much more frequently, which means that you can Vaporize almost all of Diluc's attacks. So then overall, you are going to get more damage with the Vaporize team. Do you have plans to stream regularly? I'm trying to stream... Well, as you can see, the quality of my stream is not very great. So my stream setup is not ideal right now, which is why I don't do it too often. And it's also very time consuming. I'm trying to stream at least my Spiral Abyss runs on each cycle. It resets, so then probably every 2 weeks. But then if I can figure out a better stream setup, or if people are more interested, then I can try to go for a more frequent schedule. One sec, I'm going to be right back again. Whew, okay, I'm back. Geo, is your Diluc built? Yeah, I would say so. I have his talents up like relatively high, and then his I have some artifacts for him. They're not perfect, but I have some usable artifacts at least. You want to see me try using Diluc? All right, round 3. Oh my god. Ah, jeez, this is a disaster. Yeah, and this is why setting up like from your lower chambers, like setting up at chamber 2 for chamber 3 is so important, because going into chamber 3 with like a disadvantageous position like this just ends up wasting so much time. Like if my Xingqiu had like a little bit more health, like these runs would be going so much smoother. But I just completely neglected him. Burgeon Diluc. I can try to give it a shot, we'll see. This way. Today's beetle match is quite hard. Is that day 3 or day 2 beetle match you're talking about? I'm assuming these are Asia folks, so I'm guessing it's day 3. Oh my god, I almost died with Xingqiu again there. That was really close. Oh, I have to get over here. Oh, interesting. They can get trapped in the bubbles too. I didn't know that. Time is not looking good though, because I think in the previous run I was done with this first wave within a minute, and I've already gone over. I don't know how well this is going to turn out. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to make time here. Oh, it's actually kind of close though. If the other summoner were a little closer, I think I might have made it, because then I would have been able to take out all 3 of them at the same time. That was actually kind of close. Okay. Gio, have you considered piloting viewers' accounts for Abyss on stream? So then, like playing on other people's accounts, or like watching other people play and then telling them like how to get better? Let's see. Healer Nahida, what did I just read? Oh. Oh, it hits twice. Oh my god. Oh man, this time the clear is a little slower too, so I don't know how this is gonna go. I think it depends a lot on how the grouping for the first wave goes. Because it seems like if I can take out these guys pretty quickly, then it becomes a lot easier. But if I spend too long on these Eremites, then that's where I lose a lot of time. Oh my god, I lost Xingqiu again. Oh, this is so frustrating. What do you guys think? Should I just restart and come back in with the healthier, more prepared Chamber 3? Or should I just keep trying this? Because my Xingqiu is just getting one shot so often. You think it's doable? Okay, 2 people said restart, 1 person said it's doable. 2 people said it's doable, okay. Well, you guys have a lot of faith in me, thank you. I guess that first one was like really close actually, or the second one was really close, so I guess it is possible, it's just a matter of execution. Oh, it's just the fact that he's wounded. Yeah, his artifacts are fine right now. Or like his build and stuff are fine. But yeah, he's so low on health right now that if I basically make one mistake, I end up just getting one shot and then he dies. Never give in, never surrender. Thank you guys. I would swap Kokomi and Xingqiu. Yeah, honestly, that's probably better here. That's what I should have done. Oh, but then the first half wouldn't have that much enough healing. I guess Kuki can heal and then Xingqiu gives me the damage reduction. But, yeah. It's more satisfying if you pull it off. Alright. Yeah, one mist bubble away from death. Exactly. If I just like misstep and accidentally run into a mist bubble or get like knocked back into one, then it's like trouble. I'll try starting from one of the sides and see if that's better. Oh no, no, Sucrose. Oh my god, everybody's so low now. Somehow I've managed to do even worse. Oh, and Beto's energy is not full. That's not good. Oh, this feels a little better. Let's see if we can do it. The AoE damage is pretty good. I just missed one beast. No! I lost Xingqiu. No! Let's see if I can do it with just electro damage. I got all of them down pretty quickly. But I don't have any electro. Oh no, and I lost Xingqiu. Oh my god. Man, this would have been the run. This would have been it. Yeah, look how much time I have, but I just completely messed it up by... Oh my god, that's so frustrating. Yeah, if either of Xingqiu or Sucrose had survived there, I think I would have gotten it. But I managed to lose both of them just now. Oh man. Any tips on how to group those Eremite Pokemon ladies effectively? Yeah, you want to focus the beasts first. So start by grouping the beasts, because you can CC them as well. So you CC the beasts together, take them down with AoE damage, and then once all 3 beasts are down, then it stuns each of the summoners, and then when they're stunned, you can group them as well. So then it's basically, you can think of it as like a 3-wave fight. So then the first wave is the regular Eremites, second wave is the beasts, and then the third wave is the Eremite summoners. And then you just use grouping on each one of them. So the key is just to focus down the beasts so that you can CC, or so that their CC immunity wears off, and then you can group them after the beasts are dead. Wouldn't running to the edge of a chamber make the ladies group? How did people back when we had the double Electro Abyss? No, this one, they don't follow you actually. They stay like completely ranged the entire time. So you do have to kill the beasts if you wanna group them. Try focusing on the Dendro Summoner, it might work. Okay, I'll give that a shot, thank you. Thanks for the tip. Ooh, I messed up my rotation there. How do you avoid getting the translucent mask shield when fighting the Kankis? I use Ganyu and it seems like anytime I use a charge attack it gets blocked. A good question. The mask comes up when you use ranged attacks against the neutral Kanki. So you want to fight, you always want to fight from a melee range of the white Kanki. If you get too far away from him, he puts up that shield slash mask that you're talking about, which blocks all of your ranged attacks. So you don't want to fight them from range. You have to be in melee range if you want to deal effective damage to the neutral Kanki. Oh shit, I think she's gonna die. Oh no! Ooh, that was a huge counter. Alright, I'm gonna try for the Dendro Summoner like the person advised. Let's see if that turns out better. Ooh, big counter there again. That's good. Let's see, I think the bird is still at pretty high health. Oh no, the scorpion is alive too, actually. Oh, I missed Xingqiu's skill. That's actually so bad. Okay, but I still got my bursts back. That's good. Oh my god, this bird is avoiding me. Oh, is this it? Is this it? Is this the one? Is this the one? Whew! Oh my goodness. That was close. Wow, Beidou and Xingqiu were just hanging on by a thread there. both of them on life support. Oh my goodness. That was close. That Animo bird was just not, he was just not getting hit by my AoE. He was like flying around, dodging my AoE attacks. Oh my goodness. Whew. Thank you for believing in me, guys. Wow. Yeah, that was tough. I would definitely don't recommend going in without a healer on the second half, because yeah, they deal so much damage. It was surprisingly resilient though, because like they said, the damage reduction from both Beidou and Xingqiu helps a lot, I would say. So surprisingly resilient, even though there is no dedicated healer. If you added a dedicated healer on there, like if you replace Xingqiu with Kokomi, for example, or if you gave Prototype Amber to Sucrose, I think, yeah, that team would be really, really solid. Wow, so many words of encouragement. Thank you so much, guys. Doesn't this feel great? Wouldn't be this good if you had restarted. That's right. All right, let me see what artifacts I got first. We got ER. Ooh, this is pretty good. We got double crit on this guy. We got HP, attack, and then I think we got a couple exile pieces. ER crit rate, I'll keep that. EM, attack, HP with ER, I'll keep that too. That's good. Instructor, we got EM on the flower, that's not bad. Attack crit rate, HP def, okay. Healing bonus, okay. Actually, healing bonus with EM, I'll keep that. 27 million Mora. People commenting on my Mora. Yeah, the reason I have so much Mora is because... Where did you even see my Mora, actually? Was it from the other item tab? Oh, it was here, yeah. Yeah, the reason I have so much Mora is because there was one time when I was building... I think I was building, like, Wanderer or something. One of the characters that came out in, like, 3.1 or something. And I kept running out of Mora when I was trying to level their talents. Because once you get up to talent level, like, 7 and 8, Mora actually gets really, really... expensive up there. So then I was like so sick of running out of Mora all the time that I just decided to commit, and I only farmed gold ley lines for a month straight. Like I didn't spend my resin for anything else. For a month straight I just did gold ley lines, and then that's how I ended up with like 30 million Mora, and I haven't run out since then. So highly recommend. No, just kidding. Don't actually do that. If you have nothing better to do with your resin, then you can do that. But if you're actually trying to build characters, don't actually do that. All right, let's see here. I think we still have to redo Chamber 2, right? Because yeah, we weren't able to 3-star Chamber 2. So let's do that first. Chamber 2 is the hard one, I guess. So we need damage reduction on the first half, and we need the good AoE on the Kankis. We're going to try Sunfire here again, because I tried that last time and it kind of failed. This time I want to try to make it work. Where's Jean? Okay. And then on the first half, we're going to do some kind of Xingqiu team again. Let's see. Consecrated Beasts. Should I do some kind of freeze? Would that be pretty cool? I think freeze would be nice, right? Where are you, Diona? I always have a hard time finding Diona. There she is. And then let's see here. We have that, and then we'll go Kokomi, and Ayaka. Okay, that sounds good. Let's try that. For Sunfire, is Jean EM stacked? Yep, exactly. Good question. For Sunfire, if you are running Sunfire Jean, you want to max out Jean's EM, because most of the damage from those swirls is coming from since Jean is triggering the swirls, the damage that you deal with those swirls scales off of her level and EM. So if you want to maximize the swirl damage with each Sunfire like trigger, you want to be building EM on Jean. Let's see. Lots of healing, second, and a good shielder, even if you're within melee range. Walnut. First half, do all high thumb with only shielder. Second half, you can do some AoE or another hyper carry. Is C0 Hu Tao good with Yelan? Yeah, for sure. C0 Hu Tao, Yelan is a great pair. Yelan is really good for anybody who needs the fast Hydro application, and Hu Tao definitely does need it, since you want to vaporize as many of her charged attacks as possible. Wouldn't Shenhe better, as you already have Kokomi? That's a good point, actually. Maybe I should have taken Shenhe. Should I do that? Should I restart with Shenhe? Is Sunfire strong enough for the Abyss these days? Oh yeah, absolutely. Sunfire is very strong comp. Especially if you... Well, with Raiden, it's very strong, I would say. Just because you get the Vaporize plus Overloaded double reaction when you use it in a Raiden national team. Aside from that, you could even use it in like a reverse melt team. So then you use the Sunfire as your source of pyro application, and then you use a melt carry like Rosaria to trigger those melts quickly. But aside from that, I actually don't know how many other applications there are. Okay, we'll do Kokomi. Okay, if I'm gonna do that, I need Fav on Kazuha. I just realized I have his weapon messed up. Let's do this, and then... Oh, but Jean also needs Fav. What am I gonna do here? Let's just do... No, Jean doesn't need Fav. I don't need Jean needs Fav. I'm putting on Raiden's side, so I don't think I'm gonna need Fav on Jean. Aren't the beasts resistant to freeze? Yes, that's a good point. The beasts have 50%, or I think 50% freeze resistance, which means that their frozen duration lasts a lot, or freeze is not as effective against them. Even so, I would say it's still a pretty good one. If you have enough hydro and cryo application and keep them frozen like long enough, then, or frequently enough rather, it's still a very strong comp. Wow, this is a super whaley team. This full 5-star lineup with only exclusive characters. Yikes. Super whaley team. Let's see here. This, and then let's go... I'm actually going to go Xingqiu here instead of Yelan. This, and then the Sunfire. Okay. Let's try that. Would you recommend pulling Shenhe if Rosaria is already C2? That's a good question. If you feel like your other teams are like really solid, like if you have a really solid national team and a really solid Hyperbloom team already, and you don't have that many like key units that you need to pull, then yeah, I guess you can go for Shenhe to upgrade your cryo team. She does give a big damage boost, but like I wouldn't say Shenhe is a priority for almost anybody, just because she's like such a luxury upgrade that if you have other characters that you need to enhance the rest of your roster, I would definitely prioritize those first. Shenhe is like super niche upgrade. Is Shenhe worth it if I have Ayaka? I don't have other limited, have guaranteed. Yeah, same thing what I just said. It is a nice, it's like a nice to have for Ayaka teams, but if you have other team comps that you need to work on, like if you don't already have 2 solid team comps, I would probably go for somebody else. Let's see here. Good comp. 2-2-1 is good with Hyperbloom. Shenhe seems worth it to me if you have freeze carry. Let's see. Alright, let's go. Yeah, like if I had to pick between Kazuha and Shenhe, I think I would pick Kazuha like 9 times out of 10. Where's, oh, there he is. Oh, dang, that burst did not kill him. That actually feels so bad. I guess it's normal to spend more than 1 rotation on this guy, though. He has so much health. Ooh, I missed the swirl on him. Oh no, and he's gonna use the charge. Oh gosh, this is a disaster. Alright, I'm gonna take it slow for the last rotation because I want to make sure I have my bursts up and ready for the next chamber. Because I'm actually just focusing on chamber 2. We don't need to clear chamber 1 here. Alright. Are they... After they go into their buffed mode, they are unfreezable. Oh, is that true? I did not know that, actually. What characters are you excited / saving for the most right now? I am most excited for Desha, but a little less excited after I found out that she's kind of been getting incremental nerfs and being demoted into the standard banner. So I don't know if I'm as excited, but I'm still very excited for Desha. I'm a big fan of her aesthetic and her personality. How much ER does your Ayaka have? I have about 175 ER on Ayaka. Was Sunfire named after the League of Legends item? Yes, I believe so, because it has kind of the similar effect, right? It has the pulsing fire AoE damage from your character, so that's exactly what it was named after. Oh wait, oh no, I messed up this. Oh god. Are they still gonna follow me? I don't think they are. Oh no, they did, okay. Whew. Oh my goodness. These Whopper flowers are so hard to deal with when you don't have a grouping character. Oh my goodness. They just go everywhere. Ooh, that was nice. Yeah, and here we're not really able to take advantage of the Sunfire effect because we can't really stay still and afford to stay inside Bennett's burst. But in the second chamber, it'll pay off a little bit more. Hopefully. Oh my god, look at that damage. Jesus. Yeah, once you can get the enemies like in your Sunfire range, like it's actually so strong with Raiden. Maybe I should... I'm gonna use one more burst here. Because it's just taking so long. I better be able to recharge it though. Okay, yeah, we're good. Alright. We are ready for Chamber 2. Let's 3-star this, baby. Let's see, 107... Yeah, I run a lot of ER on Ayaka, and all of my characters in general. I really dislike breaking rotations. Like, I emphasize... I place a lot of priority on being able to use my rotations back to back. So after the 20 seconds is over for my cooldown, I expect all of my bursts to be back up because I don't like having my bursts off sync or waiting for bursts. So then I put a lot of ER on all of my characters to make sure I can execute their rotations seamlessly. Oh man, the way you said Desha's name ticks so many of the right boxes in my head. I use the Japanese voiceovers, and that's how they pronounce it, so that's just how I hear it, but I don't know what the English pronunciation is. I can't beat floor 12 chamber 3. I need some recommendations. If you can share your team comps or what, or like your character roster, or what you're having trouble with specifically, I can try to help you more. In general, for the first half, you need some kind of Quicken or Hyperbloom team, and I'm talking to anime style here, and because the boss, the Dorito boss, goes invisible and you need Quicken to break the invisibility. So that's kind of the key thing there. For the second half, you just need good grouping and AoE damage as well as survivability because you need to be able to group the beasts to take them out all together. And then you also need to be able to group the summoners after you kill the beasts. So good, consistent AoE damage and good grouping is going to be the key there on the second half. The resistance of Whopper Flowers needs to be nerfed so bad. Like, girl, why do you have 70% resistance to an element by default? Yeah, preach it. Amen there. If you have Ayaka skin, you should also get Shenhe. That's a fair point. Definitely agree with that. If you have Ayaka skin, definitely get Shenhe, please. About grouping enemies with no CC, do they stand in front of you by default like the Whopper flowers? Yes, or kind of. You kind of have to position yourself so that they're standing in front of you. Like, you don't want to be surrounded by the enemies because then they're gonna like go in like 4 different directions. You want to be positioning yourself so that you can face, like, you're facing all of the enemies from where you're standing so that they're all running to you in the same direction. And that's the general advice I would give for positioning when you try to group without a grouper or like an Animo CC. Let's see. First time hearing Gio's regular voice, it's just as fancy. Thank you. Alright, let's see. Let's see what we can do here. Oh my god, that's so satisfying, being able to clear out a full wave with one cast of Ayaka's burst. That always feels so good. And it looks like it's going to take 2 rotations for these guys. But that's not too bad. Oh my god, they travel so much. Oh my god, Kazu almost died there. Holy crap. That was so close. Alright, first half in 840. That's a pretty clean clear. Is it really necessary to have level 90 characters to successfully complete floor 12? I wouldn't say it's completely necessary. You can clear it with level 80 characters if they're well invested enough in terms of artifacts, talents, and weapons. If you're using team comps or characters that deal damage or that deal like Hyperbloom or overloaded damage that scale off of levels, in that case, it's going to be a lot more important. So if you have like a Kuki Hyperbloom team, for example, you want to make sure Kuki is level 90. If you're using taser teams or any kind of teams where you're getting a lot of damage from swirl reactions from Sucrose, for example, then you want to make sure Sucrose is level 90. But aside from that increased reaction damage for transformative reactions, most other characters don't get a huge advantage from getting raised to level 90, so I wouldn't advise it. So keep most characters at level 80. Make sure your talents and weapons are maxed at least, and artifacts, obviously, artifacts at level plus 20, and only level 90 the characters that deal a lot of damage through transformative reactions. That would be my advice. I like your profile pic. What is your favorite winter mountain? Good question, thank you. That picture was taken in Park City, Utah, which I went to just last weekend, which was beautiful and a really great park. I would say my favorite is probably Lake or Heavenly. I don't know if you know it, but Heavenly in Lake Tahoe, where it's a resort that has a really, really good view of the lake and also a very big resort. I would probably say Heavenly is my favorite resort for snowboarding, and then Park City is a close second, though. I would say Park City was just as beautiful. It just doesn't have a view of the lake, which is kind of unbeatable, but really good view of the Rockies and the mountains. All right. Let's see if we can beat the Kanki trio with the Sunfire team. Here we go. So again, we're going to focus the neutral Kanki because he's the one that moves around the least, and he's also the one that puts up the shield when you like get outside of melee range of him. So we always want to be sticking to him. Oh, that was close. Oh yeah, this is a really good positioning where the white and the green one are together. This is like, yeah, that's like where you want to be. Oh yeah, that AoE damage is so strong when they're grouped up like that. And that should be it. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that was a pretty smooth run, but obviously I use like 7 5-star characters, so can't really say that that was a F2P clear. Kevin Bo, do you snowboard also? Is there a park that you like? Or a resort or a park that you like? Ooh, 20k free Mora. Alright, let's go to 27 million and 27.02 million Mora. Whoa, rock music with Desha. That's pretty cool. Where's my 20k Mora? There it is. It would be really cool to have a fast cryo application character so you can melt like a vape comp. Yeah, that would be insane. If they release a cryo character who can deal like off-field cryo damage every 1.5 seconds without an ICD, that's when the game is going to break. That's when you're going to be able to melt all of Xiangling's Pyronado hits and then just like do like 100,000 damage Pyronado procs. But I would be surprised if they did that, because yeah, it would just be so strong. Does Husk effect charge in the Abyss if I have the character in the second, third, or fourth slot before starting the Abyss? That's a good question. I haven't used a lot of Husk characters because I don't have a lot of Geo carries. I want to say yes, because like Serpent Spine, for example, charges up before you start the stage. And I'm assuming Husk will do the same. Hopefully somebody who uses Goro or Ito can answer that. What is the Sunfire rotation? Seems a bit complicated. Okay, I can run through the Sunfire rotation really quick. It's not too difficult. So the main thing is just to make sure that Bennett and Jean's burst go back to back, because you want to make sure like Bennett's burst lasts for 12 seconds and Jean's burst lasts for 10 seconds. So you basically you use Bennett's burst first, since it lasts for 2 seconds longer, and then you follow up immediately with Jean's burst, and then basically the overlap in the duration is both about 10 seconds, which gives you the maximum uptime for those pyro swirls. And so then I usually open with Raiden skill, and then Xingqiu skill burst, and then Bennett burst, Jean burst, and then go immediately into Raiden. And while you're on field with Raiden, you get those Sunfire procs. You usually get like 9 or 10 of those hits, or 9 or 10 of those swirls, which is what you want. So the key thing here is just to maximize the overlap between Bennett and Jean's burst, and then attack on field while those swirls are going. So let me show you. So skill, and then Xingqiu skill burst, and then Bennett burst, Jean skill burst, and then Raiden burst. And so you can see those swirls going, and we get those big overload hits like while those swirls are proccing, and that's where we get most of our damage. And then I close the rotation with like one more of Bennett's skill just to charge up a little bit of energy while we're waiting for everybody's cooldowns. And then we repeat Xingqiu skill burst, Bennett burst, Jean skill burst, Raiden burst, and then we get the swirls, the overloads, and the vaporized all at once. And that's where all that damage is coming from. Man, even this team can't one rotation this guy. he's so much health. Yeah, and the main disadvantage with the Sunfire team is that it's very stationary, because you have to be inside both Bennett and Jean's burst for it to deal damage, right? Like if you leave, you're not getting any of the Sunfire procs. So then that's kind of the issue with it. But if you against like melee enemies like this, it's gonna be really strong. And in terms of positioning, you also want to make sure that you try to maximize the overlap between Jean's burst and Bennett's burst, so that you have a bigger area to work with. Because if that overlapping area is really small, then that means you're also limited to a smaller space. So maximizing the overlap between their two bursts is gonna be ideal. Let's see, what are you drinking? Good question. I was drinking boba just now, but I just finished it, so no more boba for me. I got boba from Chicha Sanchen, which is a new boba shop that opened up nearby just a couple weeks ago. Let's see. Why don't you claim Spiral Abyss rewards? I think I just did, right? I'm assuming you... Or did I not, actually? No, I did. Okay, I claimed them. Husk charges when the character is off-field. Okay. Husk works. I use one on my Yunjin. Nice, okay. Does Ayaka's burst apply cryo each time during the 15 hits, thereby applying cryo really fast due to the 3-hit rule? Yes, that's correct. Ayaka's burst does... So she has the standard 2.5 second ICD on her burst. So then, in that regard, you're not going to benefit from the... that cooldown still applies, but because it hits so many times, you're going to be triggering the 3-hit rule multiple times throughout her burst. So like you said, if it hits 15 times, that means you're going to trigger the 3-hit rule 5 times. So you'll get 5 applications of cryo throughout the burst's whole duration. Can you replace Jean with Kazuha and Sunfire? The small enemies keep flying off when I try it. Not really, no. Because Jean... Well, I mean, you can actually. You still get a similar effect because every time Kazuha's burst procs, you're going to get that Pyro Swirl, but it's not going to be as fast as Jean's, because the key thing with Jean's burst is that it triggers Animo on your character every second, and so does Bennett's burst with Pyro application. So then every second, you're getting a Pyro Swirl, which is really, really fast. And that's in contrast to Kazuha's burst, which only triggers every 2 seconds. So then Kazuha's burst still gives you that big Pyro Swirl, but it happens only it happens half as fast. So then you don't get as many pyro damage procs. What is newbie guide event in your mail? Oh, that's something from MiHoYo. I actually can't talk about that because that's something well, yeah, I can't talk about that actually. There's an NDA for that, so I'm not allowed to say anything about that. Jean swirls Pyro, but Kazuha infuses Pyro, and when Raiden attacks, it converts to Overloaded, and that's why they go flying. What's your favorite character to play? Good question. I would say I like Hu Tao a lot. Actually, I just like Hu Tao's personality a lot. I guess I don't like playing her that much. I like Wanderer a lot. He's definitely my style, I would say. But he's not as strong as I would have liked him to be, so that's kind of sad. And then I would say Nahida too. Nahida's... I think I just like characters that are really strong. So like Nahida, Raiden, anything with Kazuha. So yeah, pretty cliche stuff. I don't stray too far from the meta, unfortunately. C1 Hu Tao with Ayaka would be a really good melt team since you can dash cancel and apply Pyro really well. That could work. I'm trying to think. Yeah, but then the burst, the burst window for Ayaka's burst is so short that I don't know how many times you'd be able to apply Pyro in that time. It only lasts for 5 seconds or something, right? Gio, are you a C6 Bennett denier? Yes, I am. I'm actually a lot of constellation deniers. You see all these exclamation points. These are constellations that I haven't upgraded yet because I don't... I'm afraid of my characters getting too strong because then my guides become less and less relatable. So I keep my characters hamstrung a little bit to make sure they're kind of not too strong. And Bennett's at C4, I think, because Let me see. Yeah, because the C5 gets me the 3 extra points into my burst, and I already crowned his burst. So then if I have like a level 13 burst Bennett, then it's just like any team that I use with him is just going to be so broken. So I keep it at the crown. But yeah, I'm not putting his C5. And then like Faruzan also, I put her at C2 because I think this is a reasonable one, but then I'm not going to use her other 3 constellations because these are also going to be really strong. And then I think there was Yanfei, I think was a big one. Yanfei C6, this is also a huge damage upgrade on her charge attacks and her seals, or increasing her max seal from 3 to 4, and then all of her charge attacks benefit from that. So I'm probably not going to put this one in. Honestly, I could probably put in the Yunjin constellations just because she's such a niche character that, like, if you do use her, you're probably going to be investing pretty heavily in a Geo team anyway. And then same with Goro. I think I have his C4, but I just don't use Goro ever. So then I'm just holding on to his constellations for now. Hi Geo, I just wanted to say thank you for all your amazing guide videos. You pick great BGM to go along with them. Makes tough Abyss runs more relaxing. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's good to hear. Let's see. Wait, even your Wanderer has a red yeah, my Wanderer, I got really lucky with my Wanderer pull. So I went to pity on my first copy of him. And then I got an early copy of him like right after that. I think I got him at like 7 pity or something after my first pull on him, after pulling him for the first time. But I wasn't going for the constellation. I was actually going for Faruzan copies. So then I have the constellation on him, but I'm probably not going to use it because if I ever do a Wanderer showcase, I don't want to be showcasing him with a C1 Wanderer, right? Because the burst deals a lot more damage. Or actually, is this increased by 10%? Additionally, window will deal... Oh, no. It's the C2 that increases his burst damage. Oh, okay, yeah. The C2 is the big one, actually. So I guess the C2 isn't... The C1 isn't a huge deal, I guess. It just increases the arrow damage. And then... Let's see. It increases the attack speed, which is actually kind of big. But yeah, I'm probably not going to trigger this one. Show weapons. Okay, let me show you my weapons. These are my weapons. I've level 90'd most of like the good, worthwhile level 4-star weapons, and then I have a handful of 5-star weapons, but not too many. I just have like a few of the Skyward ones that I got from the standard banner, and then this Homa is from a really long time ago. This was actually from the first Homa banner when Zhongli was released, and this was also a pretty lucky pull. I believe I got this one at like 35 pity, so that was a very lucky pull on the weapon banner. And then Engulfing Lightning is something that I saved for when Raiden's banner was coming up. I saved up like all of my wishes for like 3 versions straight, trying to get Raiden and her signature. So this one was very intentional, getting Engulfing Lightning along with Raiden. Let's see. I got Skyward Atlas. Is it good for Yanfei? Yes, I think so. Skyward Atlas is it's like a mediocre 5-star weapon, I would say, but it's like a good generalist weapon. There's no character that it's going to be like bad on, but it's also not the best weapon on anybody. So it's a good stat stick. If you have Widsith, I think it's pretty comparable actually. Widsith is very, very strong for a 4-star weapon, especially if you have R5. So if you already have an R5 Widsith, then not as useful, but otherwise it definitely doesn't hurt to put it on Yanfei. Yunjin C6 so good. You were going for Faruzan copies only to not activate them. Yeah, I guess that's true. Sorry, Thetis. Sorry to let you down like that. They should add a constellation toggle. Oh yeah, I definitely agree. That would be so good. If they, yeah, that would be such a good feature, because then you could basically like control how strong your characters, or how strong you want your characters to be. You could like do damage comparisons a lot more easily between like how big the gain is between different constellations. That would be such a good feature. I really, really hope they add a constellation toggle in the future. We'll see if they do it. Oh shit, sorry. Oh god, the dogs are going ballistic because I hit the desk. Oh no. Do you love ER? Yes, I do. I am an ER lover. I put like 100 like base, I put like 170 ER on everybody, and then for people who actually need ER, I put like 250 on all of them. So like, yeah, I have a lot of ER sands. I use ER sands and Fab weapons on so many people. What does Wanderer's name mean? If that's that's a good question. Ruba it means fox in Indonesian, and if you've already played through his kind of story, then you'll understand why I named him Fox. Artifact layouts. Yeah, that's another big one. Like switching between Raiden's like Hyperbloom setup and her like carry setup is so annoying. I've done that so many times, and God, yeah, I really wish they would implement loadouts so that I can just quickly switch between the sets. Do you have enough ER for Faruzan? Oh, good question, actually. I think I have about like 260 on her when I run Fav on her, which is what I usually use. I'm running Sac right now, but I would normally go Fav. And that puts her at 211. That doesn't seem right. Let's see here. Oh, okay, yeah, it's because I'm using an attack. I must have stolen an ER sans from her for somebody. But yeah, normally it would look something like... Yeah, this is good. Normally she would look something like this. So yeah, 260 ER. I think people like go for like upwards of 300 on her because she has like no field time and she also generates like no particles. So you really need as much ER as you can get on her. 260 is usually okay as long as I have Fav bow on her and I can trigger the Fav. But yeah, Faruzan can never have too much ER. Bennett running on 300 ER with his second constellation. Okay, no, not 300. I think I have like 220. Okay, so then with his second constellation, he's looking at like 245. Who's the best user of Homa alongside Hu-Tao? Candace, maybe? Candace is the only other HP scaling polearm user that I can think of. So Candace, it would be pretty good on Candace, but that's kind of copium just because Candace is like not that useful in a lot of teams. Other than that, it's just a really good stat stick. So somebody like Raiden, I think, could use it just fine. Oh, Zhongli would also use Homa pretty well if you wanted to build damage on him. I can see why I named him in Japanese. Definitely not with that sack bow on Faru. Staff of Homa is good on almost every character. I gave up on her. Complain. What do you think about Yelan with stringless R5 level 1? I wouldn't put stringless on Yelan. You really need the ER on her. I guess if you have an ER Sands on her, then it's not as important. But, well, actually, I guess stringless gives you the burst damage, huh? Maybe that is fine. Yeah, I guess if you can run an ER Sands on her and meet her ER thresholds so that her burst is up frequently enough, then I think a stringless on her would be fine, actually. Yeah, because you get that damage percent, or especially at like higher refinements, you get that big 48% burst damage, which is pretty huge actually. So maybe that's pretty good. I think that's good. You said raise a weapon to 80, then the artifacts to 16 first, but when we do, you take characters to 90 who really need the levels like Nahida and Sucrose. When do you take characters to 90 who really need the levels? Oh, I see. Yeah, the characters that you want to level to 90 are the ones that deal most of their damage through transformative reactions. So transformative reactions are the ones that deal a flat base amount based on your character's level in EM, unlike Vaporize and Melt, which are like amplifying reactions. So the two main ones are Swirl and Hyperbloom. Those are kind of like the two big transformative reactions in the current meta. So most Electro characters that are triggering Hyperblooms like Raiden or Kuki are priorities for getting to level 90. And then characters that trigger swirl reactions or deal a lot of damage through swirls like Kazuha, Venti, or Sucrose, those are also priorities for getting to level 90. Everybody else, not a huge priority. I usually do like to level my 5-star characters to level 90 just because their stat scaling is like exponential compared to 4-star characters, which are linear. So then the stat gain between 80 and 90 for 5-star characters is a lot bigger compared to the stat gain for 4-star characters between 80 and 90. So you get kind of more bang for your buck if you decide to if you're going to level 90 a character, it's more worth it to do it on a 5-star character. I guess that's what I mean to say. So that's why I level 90 most of my 5-star characters. But aside from that, most characters are okay being kept at 80. Let's see. Xiao. How good is Raiden on Homa? I think it's pretty good. Probably not, probably like comparable to the catch, I think. Homa's just like a really good stat stick just because of the huge crit damage buff that it gives. So I would say it's good on most polearm damage dealers. So do you speak Indonesian? I don't, no. Let's see here. Aku bisa ngomong Indo sedikit. Tapi orang Korea. My wife is Indonesian. Istriku orang Indo. So she teaches me a little bit of Indonesian, but I'm not fluent in it at all. I can just say like a few common phrases that I've memorized, but yeah, I can't understand or speak most of it. Favbo on Yelan feels good because the sound effect of gaining so many energy orbs is just good. That's a good point. That's a good argument for Fav on Yelan. Thoughts on Raiden double Hydro? It's kind of like a taser team basically, which is fine, but I don't think like Raiden's base damage is gonna be so much higher than the electro charge damage that you're dealing, and without an Animo damage dealer to swirl those like electro charge, like get the double swirl from the electro charged, you're not really gaining too much from taser teams. So I probably wouldn't do it unless you have like another Animo character or maybe like a Pyro character to supplement that. It's basically something to take advantage of the electro charge reactions, because like the advantage of running electro charge teams is so that you can take advantage of the double aura of the Hydro Electro. It's not really for the electro charge reaction itself, because that one deals so little damage. So you need some third element when you're running an electro charge team to take advantage of that double aura. Just with Electro and Hydro, it's not alone to deal a lot of the damage. Doesn't Burgeon and Bloom damage also scale off of level in EM? Yes, that's correct. That's a good point. So any Bloom-based team, such as Hyperbloom or Burgeon, does warrant leveling your characters to 90 for the characters that are triggering those reactions. You think Klee works with Dendro? I guess that would give you a Burning or Burgeon kind of team, which could work, I guess. I'm trying to think. But again, I think you would want to supplement it with like a Hydro, like a really fast Hydro applier, so that you're not just getting burning, but you're also you can also take advantage of that burning aura to trigger strong vaporizes and also trigger Burgeons frequently. Wow, your Indonesian is really good. Thank you. Let's see here. I didn't know 4 stars get less than 5 stars when they level. Yeah, that's something that's not really well documented, but if you just look at like the stat gains like between like level 70, level 80, and level 90, you'll notice that the jumps between 80 and 90 for 5 stars is like a lot bigger than 4 stars. Dendro teams do always need Nahida for meta damage. I wouldn't say necessarily need. You can get away with Yao Yao or Dendro Traveler, but yeah, Nahida is like gonna make it easy mode for all of your Dendro teams. Like she's so strong, and she's really easy to use. I think that's the big thing. Like she's really consistent. Like you can't mess up a rotation if you have Nahida in there, just because her skill lasts for so long and it has almost limitless range. So then it just makes your execution and your rotation so much easier to do. What's the best F2P weapon if I have a C1 Yelan? I would lean towards Favbo, or I think some people run like Slingshot with an ER Sands, for example, just to get the crit like stat stick from the Slingshot and then make up for her ER from her artifacts. But other than that, I think Fav is probably the best bet. I'm American, but it sounded authentic to me. Gio, how valuable is it to have a freeze team in an account? I play on mobile and I'm indecisive on whether to pull for Yelan. I have Xingqiu or pull Ayaka for a freeze comp. Help appreciated. I would say, so in my personal opinion, the two teams that every F2P player should have in their arsenal is a national team and a national team and a Hyperbloom team. Like in my opinion, those two teams kind of give you the most bang for your buck and deal the most damage with the investment that you put into them. So freeze is kind of like a corollary to that, I guess. So if you have one of the two, like if you have one national team or one Hyperbloom team, then you can kind of prioritize freeze as a secondary. But I wouldn't recommend it as like the first team that you build, because there are a lot of Spiral Abyss iterations that have a lot of bosses that are immune to freeze, or have like a lot of elemental disruptions that break the freeze. So it is very strong on the floors where it works, but then there's a lot of floors where it doesn't work. So I wouldn't prioritize it as the first team to build, but it is still a very, very strong team when it does work. But again, I would prioritize one of those other teams, either Hyperbloom or National, first before you invest too much in a freeze team. Let's see here. Wow, just tried Sunfire with level 60 Gene. It works. Thanks for the demo. Nice. Do you think it's worth leveling characters like Fischl, Tinari, or Kaching to 90 as they use Aggravate Spread? Oh, that's a good point, actually. How much does... I think those actually scale with... I actually don't know if those scale with level. Let me check. And I think they do. Let's see here. Additive reactions. Flat damage bonus. Yeah, okay. So the base damage that it adds does scale with level. And it is a lot bigger. But since it's additive, like you're not getting... I mean, you're still... Yeah, so the difference... So like Aggravate, for example... At level 80, it does 1200 extra damage, and at level 90, it does 1600 extra damage. So you're gaining 400 extra damage on your base Aggravate damage, and then you can multiply that by your EM. So then, like, it's still like 30% more, but the base damage, like the starting base damage, is a lot smaller than something like Hyperbloom or Overload, which starts at which jumps from like 3000 to like 4000. So it's not like 1000 more damage that you're gaining, it's just 400 more damage. So I would say it's not as important for Aggravate or Quicken teams, but obviously it's still, I mean, you want to get as much damage as you can. So if you already have all of your other talents, artifacts, things like that leveled, then that would be the next upgrade to make. You would prioritize those Quicken or Aggravate teams next. Let's see here. Gio, what are your thoughts or hopes on what Baizo's kit should be like? I'm hoping he would be like ideally he would be like a off-field dendro healer who can also apply dendro very quickly. But I think so, kind of like Yao Yao, but like on steroids. But I guess that's just kind of wishful thinking. I don't know, like, because that would be really strong, right? Because that would kind of fulfill a lot of roles that a lot of Hyperbloom or like Quicken teams need, having the healer and the strong off-field dendro application at the same time. But who knows? And the fact that he's a pharmacist, it would be, him being a healer would be in line with the fact that he's a pharmacist. So that would be really cool, I think, lore-wise as well. But who knows? All right. Do you plan on building a mechanical keyboard? I think you need one. I already do have a mechanical keyboard, actually. I do have one. So I'm probably not going to build one anytime soon, but I am pretty happy with the mechanical keyboard I have. My wife bought it for me as a Christmas present a couple years ago, and I'm pretty happy with it. Gio, what are your thoughts on 3.5 stream and Desha going to standard banner? On one hand, I'm kind of happy because it relieves pressure on me because I don't have that many wishes saved up for Desha's banner, and I really wanted to get her. So it kind of relieves pressure in terms of timeline, because even if I don't get her now, that means I can still pull her from the standard. But that also probably means that she's not going to be as strong as everybody thought she was going to be. So that's kind of a bummer, but we'll see. Maybe she'll exceed our expectations still. All right, I think I'm going to call it a night. Hopefully I answered most people's questions. I've been trying to read through all of the comments, but they're moving pretty quickly. So hopefully I didn't miss anything. And if I did, I'm sorry. If you have more questions, then feel free to leave them as a comment on, pretty much any of my videos. I read all of my comments, so regardless of where you leave the comment, I will be able to see them and respond to them. So if there are any questions that I wasn't able to answer here, please feel free to ask them somewhere else. And in the meantime, good night, everybody, or good afternoon if you're in Asia. And thank you so much for tuning into my stream. And hopefully I will see you soon. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.